So Adam Caplan is our NFL insider, and you can follow him on X at Caplan NFL, and he's leaving after this show today to go to, I believe, Los Angeles. He's flying from Philadelphia to Los Angeles tonight, and he's going to be covering all these camps out in Southern California. It sounds pretty stacked, your schedule.
Yeah, I got the Raiders and Saints tomorrow. And then I've got the Chargers hosting the Rams at the Bolt, the Chargers' new facility in El Segundo near LAX. And then I'll come to you after you and I will be back together on Monday. It's either going to be Monday or Tuesday, but I'll have been to Jets and Commanders later in the week. On Monday, it's the Giants hosting the Lions. And then I fly Monday night to see the Dolphins hosting the new look Falcons, man. That's what it's all about. A lot going on these next 5 or 6 days.
Wow, that is just incredible. So let's talk about some things today. Why don't we start with the kid Maye up in New England? They've been giving Brissett the majority of the QB1 reps, but now they're going to let Maye do his thing a little bit?
Yeah, we need to talk about this because I think what happens sometimes people overreact. Yes. For all, Jacoby Brissett, barring something unforeseen, will be the starter week 1 when they play the Bengals. However, Drake Maye is yet to get work with the ones. And Gerard Mayo, their head coach, did say this week the plan is soon to get Drake Maye, the 3rd pick overall, reps with the first-team offense, because that's when you really know where he is. You and I talked about this before the draft. I told you he'd be a top 10 pick, but he was a project. You don't want to rush it when you're an NFL team and you inherit a player you know is a project. You don't want to rush it. But at some point, he's going to play this season. And they want to see what it looks like this coming week with the practices, because right now you get to the 3rd week of training camp. Then, the following week, you got the first preseason game. They play the Eagles, right? They also have a joint practice with those Eagles in Foxborough. And that's when you really know. When you ratchet it up, practice to practice to practice, you get him reps with the first team. That's when you know. But before then, you're not going to know quite where he is. You know, from the practice tape and being with him every day, you kind of get a general idea. But you want to see this great arm strength. He's a pretty good athlete, by the way, but he's very raw and he needs more work. But I'm very interested to see how he does with this first-team offense. And by the way, a revamped wide receiver group with the Patriots.
Well, when he came out of North Carolina, when we were watching him in college, he was, a top 5 quarterback that was going to be drafted in the NFL. And everyone talked about how big his arm was and how he could get out of the pocket and throw on the run and that he could take off running, and started doing more of that his last 2 years in Chapel Hill. What changed from him being so talented and so automatic to hearing you say raw?
All right, let's take the latter of what you talked about. You talked about him able to roll out and throw on the run and make great throws. The problem was accuracy, bailing from the pocket when he shouldn't, staying in there. He's got enormous arm strength. Yes, he's an athlete. Sure, certainly when you get pressure, he can run. You know that going, and he can do that. But he's got to hang in there. He just had some habits when I talk about being raw. He had some habits that needed to be cleaned up. They've got Jacoby Brissett there as an insurance policy, one of the best backup quarterbacks in the National Football League. Remember when he had to fill in for the Colts when Andrew Luck suddenly retired? He did a very good job. This guy's been there and done that. He's also been drafted by the Patriots, so they know him very well, that organization. This is the perfect guy to mentor Drake Maye, who's got a lot of work ahead of him. And the other thing is, look, they've revamped their receiver core. It's going to take them a while to develop chemistry, but the earlier they get him in there, Scott, and develop that chemistry, the better off they're going to be for the long term.
Big things are expected from Jameson Williams in Detroit this year.
Yeah, we need to talk about this because, look, the first 2 years, not great. First year, remember he's come back from the ACL injury, didn't do much, only had 1 catch last year, 24 receptions, but he was playing a ton of snaps at the end of the season. But 3rd year, former first-round pick. At some point, the lights got to go on, and what I'm told is the lights going on. What I was told with him was route running needed to improve, maturity needed to improve. He had to take a big step this offseason. He's felt what I was told is the urgency, and then Ben Johnson, the Lions offensive coordinator, talked about it this week, and he basically talked about the next step. He's doing all the right things. This kid is super gifted. You saw it in the playoffs. He came on a little bit, and this is his season. You got Amon-Ra, St. Brown opposite him, who signed that extension. You got Sam Laporta, the excellent tight end. If you like fantasy football like you and I do, this is the season for him. By the way, he's going late in drafts. He's going the second half of drafts because they're not sure whether to trust him because he didn't have that great season last season. But this is the year, from what I understand, the maturity is hitting. The latest kind of went on. I'm expecting a big year for him. I'm expecting 60 catches or more from Jameson Williams.
I can't wait to see if he takes his game to another level. What about King Henry? How's it going so far with him and the Ravens?
All right, I was there yesterday, and I could tell you, Scott, as one person said with the Ravens, how are teams going to defend us with Henry, as you mentioned, Lamar Jackson, his ability to throw and run, there's two excellent tight ends, and Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely. I mean, they've got so much going on here, and just watching practice, watch the defense to react, whether Lamar's going to hand it off to Henry or is he going to roll out or run or throw the football. I'm so looking forward to what this offense looks like this season and what that division, how the AFC North is going to handle it. Man, I get why they try to trade for him at the trade deadline. Henry still has something left. There's no question, and I can't wait to see what this offense looks like. It's going to look different, though, because they got a big-time power back in Henry.
I think one of the exciting things will be to see the same look as before, is that the Steelers beating them twice. Beating them in Baltimore, beating them in Pittsburgh. I think I'll go to the game in Pittsburgh. What a rivalry. Adam, have a great trip out to Los Angeles. Have a safe flight. We look forward to your reports again on Monday from Adam's summer circuit around the NFL.